Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your WWE Backlash 2017 preview and predictions. We've got a grand total of 8 matches that we are going to be previewing and predicting tonight. We're probably only going to live react to 7 of them because one of them is on the pre-show, and we don't live react to pre-show shit, but we still are going to predict it. So, John, tell me, how stoked are you for Backlash 2017?
Yeah, because you had all like that power and that energy in your voice, and here I come to tank the shit out of it. You know, it's weird, dude, Backlash, because I obviously want this show to succeed. I'm a big supporter of the SmackDown brand, but this is a weird card. Keep in mind, at Backlash last year, our main event was AJ Styles versus Dean Ambrose, and AJ Styles won the WWE title on that show. Even if you can't remember anything else from Backlash last year, that stood out. What is Backlash going to stand out for? Oh, also, we did get our inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion and our Tag Team Champions. I mean, great foot forward for the inaugural SmackDown Live pay-per-view. They accomplished a lot that night. 1 year later, and we're like, where are we? Yeah, it's very interesting. That's not necessarily a knock against this pay-per-view, but I just find it very interesting that we find ourselves here when the very first Backlash seemed to really epitomize freshness and embracing the greatness, because AJ Styles is just running WWE at this point. But as far as this Backlash goes, I mean, I'm sitting at a 6, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. Like, some hype is there, but I'm not overly enthused. What about you?
That's exactly where I am. I'm at about a 6.5. I'm not completely committed to either one, but that's my general kind of feeling as well. I think that the matches are going to end up being better than we expect, but I'm really only looking forward to like 2 matches on this card. And really one of the matches that I'm looking forward to is the match that they've really basically hyped the entire pay-per-view on the back of, Nakamura's in-ring debut.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I've got to say. Even if you don't want to use the term like exceptionally well or this and that, I feel like the build has been fair. Like, I really honestly feel like, because, you know, if we're going to say it about one thing, I think we need to be consistent. They really have made Nakamura seem like an attraction, because he's gotten very little offense. Like, we saw him get a few knee strikes in on Ziggler. He's only cut off entrances, maybe done a bit of promo work, but this is his in-ring debut. Now, what's going to be curious is how they treat him going forward. You know, after Backlash, are we going to see him as a SmackDown regular? And what are the pros and cons of that? Because part of me is very attracted to the idea of Nakamura being kind of like SmackDown's attraction. Given that their roster got so rated again, you know, it would be nice for them to have their calling card. But I know how people get really tired with Lesnar being an attraction, especially because he's the freaking champion right now on the Raw side. So I'll be very curious how they handle Nakamura, but I do completely agree with your assessment. Yeah, Nakamura Ziggler, simply for the attraction that is Nakamura, has definitely been one of the stronger points of this show heading into it.
I mean, to be fair, that's honestly how I've felt about Nakamura when he was NXT champion. I was kind of disappointed that he was so scarce. He was so rarely on NXT TV, and especially competing in matches on NXT TV. Like, they would use video packages and stuff to hype everything for him and never actually have him show up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I honestly, if I know SmackDown, I don't think Nakamura will be that type. I do think post-Backlash, he'll be a far more like regular competitor and regularly appear, especially because I'm already hearing rumors that after this, they're immediately going to get him in the U.S. title picture, which if those rumors prove true, that's very interesting that they want to do kind of a slower burn with Nakamura, and I'm not even against it. You know, like, I know everybody wants to see him compete for the WWE title. I know we do, but I'd like to enjoy the journey as well. I want to feel like a sense of payoff. So if they want to do a slower build of them, that's great, and it all starts here with Ziggler Backlash, and we'll get to that match a little bit later. But if you have any more preliminary remarks about it, the show's build or your anticipation, I know I'm good, so we can start digging into these matches.
Yeah, all right, well, let's dig in. Let's talk about the first match, the pre-show match, Ty Dillinger versus Aiden English. I figure I'll go first here because I've already made up my mind on this. I am not going to bet on Ty Dillinger winning. until he wins a championship. Ty Dillinger is not winning this match. Aiden English is. And I don't even care if I'm wrong, because if Ty does win, I'll be happy anyway.
Yeah. And I know you've expressed to me before that you felt like Aiden English was going to win. I still disagree with you. I don't really know. Like, I feel like Aiden English losing, that is his gimmick right now. Because I feel like the crying thing he did once, even if it was to take a jab at Morrow, WWE is incredibly petty. They'll keep that gag running for as long as they want. So I think Aiden will lose again, and he'll have like a post-tantrum or crying fit that makes Christian actually seem like he has some modesty and self-control. Ty will win. Ty's future is very interesting to me because, again, going back to those Nakamura rumors, if Nakamura is the next contender, I'd really like to see Ty mixing it up with Kevin Owens for the U.S. Championship. Like, I'm going to be honest, Ty versus Kevin Owens, and I don't use this term with much emphasis, but I would classify it as a dream feud that could happen. I like the idea of those two working together. I would love to see that happen. So I say you keep building up Ty, and then on one SmackDown, I'd love if he'd cut off Kevin Owens and tell him to shut up and just all that stuff. I think that'd be amazing. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Ty with the hopes that he'll feud with Kevin Owens in the future.
That's fair. That's fair. Like I said, I'm picking Aiden English to win, but I do hope that I'm wrong. I hope Ty Dillinger wins. But I will say, is it just me, or is it starting to kind of feel like Ty Dillinger is almost a bully in this program?
I think he'd only be a bully if, then again, I know there was an interaction like SmackDown Fallout between Ty and Aiden, and I don't know how Ty acted in that interaction, but based solely on what I've seen, I don't think it's bullying. It's just, hey, Ty, you've got this match with Aiden. Oh, okay, well, I'm just going to go out there and wrestle. Like, if he relished in it, or if he pointed and laughed at Aiden while he was crying or this and that, like, yeah, then he would seem like more of a bully, but he's just that good. To me, that's really what it is. It's not only being a bully, it's just being better than the other guy and just wanting to move on to the next one. That's why I'm really apathetic towards this match, because I do, in all sincerity, like Ty for as much as I love to laugh at him as well. And again, my dream feud for him would be him working with a guy like Kevin Owens, because that would be a guy that I think could really get his babyface fire way up. So, yeah, let's get past this and let's get Ty to better things.
All right, that's fair. Let's move on. Up next, we have Luke Harper versus Erick Rowan.
Interesting thing, Ashton. I know Erick Rowan won on SmackDown Live, so when they had that match, this is a return match. I'm going to say that Harper gets his win back, so that's my prediction. But I think it was Cliff Amal that said that Erick Rowan was the highlight of Talking Smack. He may be starting to debut that clown gimmick. Because I think I even saw a thumbnail. I didn't watch the clip because I've been meaning to watch like the stuff with you. But like he was handing out balloons and stuff. So I think we're starting to see Clown Rowan a little bit. Which almost made me tempted to say that Rowan wins again. But no, I think Harper's going to get his win back. So I'm going to go Luke Harper here.
Wow, okay. Yeah. The fact that Rowan already has a win over Harper tells me the 50-50 booking, Harper's winning this. I wasn't even really going to put much thought into it, but then you kind of bring it up to maybe potential clown gimmick return or debut, I guess. Maybe, but still, I think Harper is the far superior performer. And that's not even to say Rowan sucks. I just think Harper is one of the top, 5 to 10 performers in the WWE right now, and Rowan's more like a middle-of-the-pack kind of guy. But yeah, Harper's excellent to me. I feel like Harper really is the Cesaro of SmackDown, and I'm going to keep on pushing that nickname until it sticks, because I feel like you can look at these guys, and they're both these athletic freaks who are big, have a very interesting look, and are excellent in the ring, and aren't horrible on the mic, even if they're not the best on the mic. And I think both guys, if given an opportunity to run with the ball, would probably score a freaking touchdown with it. So Harper is the Cesaro of SmackDown, and I'm picking him to win, even though if this was literally just Cesaro, I'd probably pick Rowan to win out of sheer salt.
Yeah, dude, I'm picking up everything you're laying down. Hell, dude, remember, my emotional pick for Money in the Bank is Luke Harper. Like, that guy is due for something big. I still feel like, especially now in hindsight, and we felt this way before, and especially in hindsight, he should have been in the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania, because I feel like that triple threat would have been a hell of a lot better than what we got. Like Orton and Bray, those just weren't matches that I really had fun with at all. I enjoyed the journey more than the destination in that case. He really deserves to break out. I feel like he's in a good place to do it, but he needs to start getting those wins. I hope he beats Rowan. If he doesn't, that's already going to take the wind out of my sails for live reactions, and I don't want that to happen. I mean, this is a guy that, Baron Corbin may be the early favorite right now for Money in the Bank, and I'm sure they'll have guys like Kevin Owens and stuff, but if Luke Harper's in there, I'm going to be really tempted to pull a me because I want to see him do those big things. This guy deserves to main event, so I'm hearing you wholeheartedly. And, yeah, we both agree Harper is going to win. So, yeah, let's move on.
Well, and speaking of your Money in the Bank 2017 pick, Baron Corbin also has a match with Sami Zayn, and that's actually next on our list. So let's talk about this. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Zayn's going to pull up a shocker here. I think Zayn's going to win to the surprise of a lot of people.
That would be including me. Ashton, I know that there's always one preview predictions where I make a ridiculous pick, and normally it's because, I really like the guy. You got to understand, I'm picking Corbin because I just have really bad experiences with picking Zayn. So this is almost like a visceral reaction to having Sami Zayn on the table because every time I pick him to win in a situation, he loses. That said, if I'm really thinking about this rationally, I mean, Corbin beat the shit out of Zayn on Talking Smack. So you'd think logically Zayn would get his momentum back and get the win. At the same time, though, they love seeing Sami struggle, and they've even done a thing with him, like him getting screwed out of the six-pack challenge. And, he got frustrated, and he said, I always come this close. Not in a heel way, I'm going to turn, but just he's very honest and self-aware, always come this close, always get bitched out for it, every time. So it's really a conflict with me. Do they want to keep telling that story? Or do they finally want to give Sami wins? Because here's my thing, and maybe I'm thinking too far ahead or I'm thinking the wrong way, but I think they're going to stack the Money in the Bank ladder match in terms of quality competitors. I think a lot of quality guys are going to be in the ladder match this year, and I definitely think Sami's going to get a spot, but also Corbin. So who do you want to give the early bit of momentum to? God, I'm so torn. Every time I go with Sami, I get spurned. And yet Baron, I feel like, has never really let me down. Well, except at WrestleMania, but that was just awful.
I'm guessing Money in the Bank this year is going to be 5 quality guys, and then Erick, Rowan, Jinder, Mahal, and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah, but those 5 quality guys, though.
Yeah, I mean, the 5 quality guys is probably going to be Corbin, Harper, Zayn, Nakamura, maybe. We'll see about that, and someone else. I don't know.
I'd love, for your lower tier guys, but that could really use that breakout. You swap out Mahal for Ty Dillinger. I am so there.
Well, Ty Dillinger can be the 8th guy because I was only at 7, so we can just add him.
Yeah, there you go. You know what, dude? I'm going to try and be more rational about this. And rationality tells me, right, that Sami Zayn is due for something. I'm going to go with Sami, but I want you to remember that we had this conversation because if Baron wins, you'll know what to refer to.
Dude, here's the thing. I think this might be the most underrated match on this card because I'm fully expecting this to be the show stealer. I think Harper Rowan will be okay. There's only so much Harper can do, and Rowan is not terrible but kind of boring. It's funny that they always get compared for their hairstyles, but Rowan and Sheamus have a lot in common because neither one of them are bad. They're just both boring to me. So it's not like I have anything against them. I just can't get into their matches. Whereas with Sheamus, I feel like Sheamus is probably better than Rowan, but even then, Sheamus kicks people in the face, intentionally and knocks their teeth out. And I don't think there's ever been a story of Erick Rowan injuring somebody. So maybe they're closer to even than I thought. But yeah, Harper Rowan's going to be fine, but not great. I think Corbin Zayn can be great.
I agree. I completely agree with you. In fact, I'm glad you said something because, yeah, this might be the match that maybe people kind of sleep on, although maybe not given the rest of this card. But I do absolutely believe it has a chance because here's the one thing I've always said about Zayn consistently when I'm talking sincerely about him. The guy sells like nobody's business, and he sells in a more emotional way than Dolph Ziggler. With Dolph, it's watch me flop around like a fish. Isn't that impressive? But with Zayn, he lets you know that every match he's in is a kind of war of attrition. He tells a story with his body. and the fatigue that it endures as it progresses in a match. And Corbin, you already know what we think of his heel work because we talk about it every time he's on screen. The guy's great. He knows how to use his size. He knows how to be the guy that imposes his will and draws out that sympathy. You get two elements like that, I think you get a classic wrestling bout that gets a lot of people invested. I'm actually very much looking forward to this one. It's just the outcome that I have a conflict with. But again, yeah, I will go with you tentatively, and I will say Zayn, but I will not be surprised at all if Corbin fucking wins this. So...
Well, your record when I convince you to change your mind is like 0-36, so maybe that'll change this Sunday.
You know what? If it does, you and we can hug and just rejoice as confetti rains down and we realize that the good guys finally won one for a change.
There you go. So, and the literal good guy finally won one for a change, that being Sami Zayn.
Yes. I mean, here's the thing. I enjoy kicking Sami more than anyone. I mean, go back to our last Q&A when asked who I would shoot, and I almost gave a goddamn soliloquy about shooting Sami Zayn, but it's no fun when the guy's got nothing going for him. Like, give him a championship, and then when he loses the championship, it'll feel like I can really dig my heels in something. So, yeah, start pushing him. Fuck's sake.
We just got a $2 super chat from James saying, please stop fighting and like the video. So, yeah, chat, please stop fighting and like the video. Thanks.
This is a loving space. Thank you. See, once again, James stepping up with his opulence and his sexiness and bringing coherence back to the chat. So thank you, James. You're wonderful.
All right, well, we can get into our third main roster or main card match. Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch, which I think we've officially nicknamed to Blow Glowfire because Charlotte blows plus Glowfire versus the Welcoming Committee, Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina, which we could just call Blow, Blow, Blow because they're all awful. Except, I got to say, I should take that back because Carmella isn't necessarily awful, or at least not as awful as the other two.
No, I actually quite like Carmella, and hell, you rooted for her against Naomi on the Go Home show, so clearly you're getting behind what Carmella's selling. She's just associating with awful people. So we gotta, get her a chemical bath. We've got to make sure that she doesn't get contaminated by their mediocrity. And yet, you know something, Ashton? With all that said, something in my gut tells me the fucking Welcoming Committee's gonna win this. Because just hearing that WWE's getting cold feet about Charlotte's babyface turn, I could see her abandoning those two. Becky and Naomi, mid-match, and the Welcoming Committee is able to capitalize on that and win. The only thing that makes me feel a bit apprehensive about that is there was a breakdown on the Go Home show and Carmella capitalized then, so maybe Blowfire kind of gets their unity when it really matters and they win the match. So again, another match that I'm honestly kind of torn about, maybe because of my own salt, but I'm still going to go Welcoming Committee. I think Charlotte's going to go into business for herself, because she's awful after she's done asserting her dominance. I'm sorry, I still can't get over the way you said that. And yeah, so Welcoming Committee for the win. What do you think?
I mean, that's fair. I don't really know how to feel about this. I kind of want to pick the baby faces because it'll be like Charlotte helps the team win and then therefore she's in good graces with the champ, and then therefore she can challenge the champ and then go back to being a cunt.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I really don't know. It's a tough call for me. Charlotte's so awful. And that's what it comes down to is, how is Charlotte going to act in the context of this match? Yeah, I'm still going Welcoming Committee, and I'll only be cool with it if Carmella gets the winning pin. I swear to God, if Natalya gets the winning pin and she does that whole scream thing that she does afterwards, yay, or me, shut the fuck up.
So
yeah,
we got another $2 super chat. I'm gonna let you read this one.
Fuck Charlotte, tar and feather the bitch. You ain't wrong, Sugar Daddy. You ain't wrong. But,
and that is from James, in case people are not sure who John's Sugar Daddy is.
Exactly.
But yeah, you know what? You're right. I should. Man, I guess Charlotte. I don't know. My hesitation is because I'm not convinced that the WWE getting cold feet with Charlotte's face turn means that they're going to turn her back to being heel instantly.
Right.
This is like WWE. There have been reports before that WWE has cold feet about this thing that they did, and then it takes them another 3 months to finally go back on it.
Right. That is true.
So I'm not really sure about that, but I guess, let me put it this way. If the goal is to turn Charlotte back heel, I'm 100% picking the Welcoming Committee to win. But if Charlotte is going to find a way to coexist with Naomi and Becky Lynch, I think that team wins.
I could agree with that. I can agree with those qualifications for sure. Anything else you want to say about this match?
Actually, no. You know what? I just realized James Ellsworth is going to be at ringside. Welcoming Committee's winning.
Oh, okay. So you agree with me then. Welcoming Committee for the win.
Yeah. So you swayed me, although for very different reasons on this one.
Mother of God.
So then we're going to talk about the Usos versus the Fashion Police, Breezango.
Is this still the match you're looking forward to most?
No, actually, Zayn Corbin is.
Yeah, but would these guys take second at least?
Second or third.
Because I feel like the build to this has been quite entertaining, especially on Breezango's side. I've had fun with this. And I'll be honest, this probably is the match I'm still looking forward to the most. I love heel Usos, and this is really a case where, like, you really can't lose. Because if you keep up their run, fine, because I really do believe that New Day probably are going to be the ones to end it. But, man, if you want to pop that crowd, because I'm hoping Breezango will really be over there, you put the titles on them, man, I will be so fucking happy. They have done quality work. I mean, this is the first, like, big push they've gotten as a team, and they've run with it. I think these segments are some of the highlights of SmackDown as of late because, you know, SmackDown, I'm not saying it's become atrocious, but you can definitely tell it's kind of cooled down dealing with this kind of pay-per-view. I fully expect it to pick back up in quality on the road to Money in the Bank, or at least that's my hope. But these guys, I think, consistently have been one of the best parts of the show. I think they should be rewarded for that, you know, with the tag title run, but maybe now isn't the time. I've struggled with a lot of matches on this card, probably more than TakeOver Chicago, which we did yesterday. But I am going to go the safe bet. I'm going to say the Usos retain, but man, if my heart isn't pulling for Breezango all the way on this. So That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think this is going to be an entertaining match. I think I might have been overrating the match coming into this preview predictions, and now I've kind of cooled off on it a little bit. But I'm still expecting it to be fun, entertaining. It's one of those things where I know that both Breeze and Fandango are really good workers, but I'm not sure if it's going to get the kind of time necessary for them to really show that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm hoping it's really, really good. I'm expecting it to be entertaining at the very least, and I am fully expecting the Usos to retain here.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. There's really not much debate to be had here because this is just still their first kind of big push. I don't expect them to take it all the way. And again, that's not even like a salty point. I am enjoying heel Usos. I think their promos are still entertaining. They've kind of found their voice as heels. And I'm grateful that they have a voice because that's more than we can say for other people in that family that we would really like to do different things. But yeah, Usos retain. Again, the only thing that kind of bums me out is I'm really think it's telegraphing that New Day's going to end the reign. But we'll have that conversation on whatever pay-per-view that happens to fall on. For now, we can move on.
Well, up next, we've got Shinsuke Nakamura facing Dolph Ziggler.
You know, I know this is going to make me sound like an asshole, but when has it ever stopped me before? Am I right? But I had a really nice, long, hard laugh at Ziggler a few days ago because I was thinking about his career and like how he used to have like AJ Lee as a valet and Big E as his muscle, and he was world champion. And now he's nothing now. Like, his life is pretty much over. And I just laughed so hard. Like, it was really gratifying. And I think it's going to be really gratifying to see Nakamura get a Kinshasa, right in Dolph's face, take that chin, which is just so abnormally large, like, clean off his face, as Nakamura ascends to heights that Ziggler has only dreamed about and or written on his anonymous fan fiction accounts involving him. And then I won the world championship and I stole the show at WrestleMania just like Shawn Michaels, but better. And yeah, that will never be Dolph. That never has been Dolph. And this is Nakamura's time. Nakamura with the win all day, every day, while I continue to laugh at the failure that is Dolph Ziggler. Your thoughts?
Very well put. I appreciate your succinctness and your eloquence, John.
Thank you.
I mean, I already said that I thought Nakamura was going to defeat Ziggler by kind of accidentally on purpose replacing faces with defeats. Because, yeah, Nakamura is winning this. I'm pretty sure that, like, if you would put $1 down in Vegas, you might get, like, $1 and a penny back when Nakamura wins. Because there's no way the odds are in, anything favorable for betting on Nakamura. Because, like,
right.
I just imagine it's like 100 to 1 odds that Ziggler wins. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, Nak is clearly going to win. The only possible way Nakamura doesn't win is if WWE's just like, oh, everybody's predicting us to do this one thing, which means we have to be unpredictable to do this other thing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. No, I think Nakamura's a lock. I don't think WWE's going to be that stupid. And,
well, even then, even if they would have Ziggler pull out the quote-unquote win, it would definitely be by like disqualification or something like that.
I'm sorry, it may take me a while to get myself together because Ella just compared Twitwout to Fox News. How could you hurt me this way? But I'm going to stay composed. Unlike Dolph Ziggler when he suffers yet another loss and he realizes that this is his career now, being that guy that loses to other people that are more important than him. I'll have fun for his misery. As far as the actual match itself goes, it won't be bad. I'm not expecting a barn burner. This is nowhere near close to Nakamura's NXT debut where he got to face Zayn, who really is one of the best workers I think the company has. And if anybody goes outside this zone and says that I said that, I will deny it, even though it's indisputably on tape. And yeah, we'll see what they can do, but I'm not expecting much. I'm already looking to, Nakamura Owens, Nakamura Orton, Nakamura AJ, all those matches. Dolph's nothing. So yeah, there you go.
And then we get to our sort of a double main event on this show, I would say. Maybe even a triple main event since they have been really building up Nakamura's in-ring debut. But really the two big championship singles matches, Kevin Owens versus AJ Styles and Randy Orton versus Jinder Mahal. Do we want to talk about them in that order, or do we want to try and save the one that actually has a degree of anticipation to it for last?
If you want to do that, dude, I'm cool. Yeah, so we're talking about Mahal Orton then next, right?
Yeah, but first, James with another $2 super chat. Hashtag dicks out for Twitwow. Hashtag boycott Ella.
I endorse the first hashtag, but I still love Ella, so I can't boycott her, even if she's mean. I guess that's me being the victim in an emotionally abusive relationship, but she's too wonderful. So I will not boycott Ella, but yes, whip those dicks out for Twitwow, and whatever you do with them, well, I'm not going to jail. So, Mahal versus Orton. Do you want me to go
get
first?
Your dick out if you're in a private place that nobody else is going to see you.
That's true. Although I'm not entirely against public indecency.
Listen, guys, disclaimer, Twitwow and its affiliates are not okay with public, what's it called?
Indecency.
Public indecency. We're not okay with it. We don't endorse it. If you do it, you can't blame us or act like we were the ones that told you to do it, God damn it. We're not trying to get sued over here, you dick.
Am I the reason we're going to need a legal team?
Yeah, and you're paying for it because I sure as hell can. I'm broke as hell.
Well, we'll just make it a new Patreon goal. Hey, if you're able to get us our legal team, requests for everybody. But no, do you want me to talk about Mahal Orton first, or do you want to?
Dude, what is there to talk about? Orton's winning, and if Mahal wins, I might have to start boycotting SmackDown.
Oh, wow, that's harsh. Here's the thing, and this isn't me about to pull a John, like, whatever. It actually surprises me how many people are picking Mahal to win. Like, quite a few people I've talked to. Now, I'm not saying that's indicative of anything. I'm just saying the people I've talked to are like, oh, yeah, Mahal's winning. And see, here's the thing. If we didn't know about Money in the Bank plans, maybe that would have even a modicum of credence. But, like, Rusev's getting a title shot, right? So why would they do Rusev versus Mahal? To me, that just makes no sense whatsoever. Orton has to win here. And I know some people have said, no, Mahal has to win because he's pinned Sami and he's got the faction and he's pinned AJ and he pinned Orton in that time match. Like, they've given him so much. Why wouldn't you take it all the way? And my answer to that would simply be Jinder Mahal as the answer why. But, I can understand where they're coming from in the sense of maybe WWE's kind of put themselves in a corner. But all the same, I do wholeheartedly agree with you. Orton's winning. If Mahal does win, I'll tell you what happens then. Orton just wins it on the SmackDown immediately after. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way. No fucking way. And this you can quote me on, and I'm always scared to say that anymore with how wrong I am. But I honestly believe you'd have to be out of your goddamn mind to do Mahal versus Rusev for Money in the Bank. Makes no sense. So, yeah, Orton's winning.
Absolutely. Randy Orton for the win. And now we can get to what will most likely be the semi-main event, even though the build and actual match itself and degree of unpredictability would all loan itself to it being the actual main event. Let's talk about the United States Championship match. Kevin Owens, the face of America, versus AJ Styles, the face that runs the place and the man who built SmackDown.
Yeah, you know what? That was a very brief conversation about the main event. Maybe this one will be just as brief. I think Kevin Owens is winning. I've been saying
I don't.
For so long now.
I have AJ Styles winning, so suck it.
You know what, dude? Just because you said that to me, if you're wrong, I'm going to laugh at you even harder than I laugh at Sami Zayn. You're going to be worse than Sami. Think about that. How are you going to be able to live with yourself? How are you going to be able to get out of bed the morning after?
So you mean to tell me that if I am like 70% sure AJ Styles is winning, which means that I would only be about 30% sure that Kevin Owens was retained, which is why I'm picking AJ Styles, because I think that the odds are higher that he wins than Owens retains, even though I'm not 100% sure on anything, and I'm not claiming to be 100% sure on anything, that makes me worse than Sami Zayn.
Yes.
So what are you going to do when both Sami Zayn and AJ Styles win?
Do you just say things because you just like how they sound? Just like, oh, let me just say this thing. Like, that's nonsense. First of all, Baron is going to put Sami in the ground because Sami always
speaks. Sami Zayn to win!
Well, I lie a lot. I'll probably change my mind before we go on air. But, yeah. If it was Big Larry, I'd feel threatened. But it's Sami Zayn. Like, what is he going to do about it? Mainly, though, let's focus on AJ, the hick that can suck my dick, because there is no way that he is taking Kevin Owens' United States Championship. And, to be perfectly honest, you're wrong. You're wrong. So that's my opinion, and I think this is a very substantive discussion. And, if you have any retort, I guess that's it.
You can have your opinion, and I can have my opinion, and there is a chance that either one of us will be right, just like there is a chance that either one of us will be wrong. But the difference is, if and or when you're wrong, I won't rub it in your face like a prick.
Okay, now you have rubbed things in my face before. Like when New Day won the tag titles off of Masters of the WWE Universe when I switched sides last minute, and then they won, and you're like, suck it, whore. So don't act like there's no precedent. I remember things, and yeah, I will rub it in. I'll rub it in real good. So, yeah, now that you know the emotional stakes, you're still going to be on the wrong side of history and pick AJ Styles, huh?
Oh, I'm absolutely picking AJ Styles. Yeah, and you know why? Because I think that with Rusev coming back and challenging for Randy Orton's world title, because Randy is retaining, I think that Jinder is going to, quote-unquote, downgrade to the U.S. title picture. He's basically going to pull a Dolph Ziggler last year, where Ziggler challenged Ambrose for the world title, and he couldn't get the job done, so then he went after the Miz's Intercontinental title, and he couldn't get the job done until he did get the job done for like a couple days, and then he couldn't get the job done anymore, and he hasn't gotten the job done since. That's going to be Jinder Mahal. And by the way, before we end this, I do want to just kind of let people know that the reason that I am so overblown and big and boisterous about my opinions is because when I get something right, I want to be the most right about it. And by doing that, I'm also putting myself at risk to be the most wrong about things. But I'm okay with that as long as I'm the most right about more things than I'm the most wrong about.
Well, hey, man, we'll see. We'll see. I think it's going to be a fun U.S. title match. I know you said some of your interest got taken out because they did make the leg kind of a narrative beat with Owens, hitting it with his championship. So, that's probably going to get worried. But I still think it'll be a great match. And hell, maybe it's even setting up.
Have I ever explained to you and our audience why I hate when people don't get injured throughout the course of a match, but go into a match with an injury, with a pre-existing injury that becomes the focus of the story of the match?
I don't think you've ever explained in detail, but if you want to give us the rundown.
Okay, because it completely removes my ability to suspend my disbelief, because there are so many instances where somebody doesn't end up having a match because they quote-unquote aren't cleared to compete. But then when somebody goes into a match with a pre-existing injury, they somehow were able to get cleared to compete. So it's completely backwards.
Oh, so for you, it goes back to like a suspension of disbelief kind of thing. Like, what kind of doctor with even a modicum of competence would let somebody compete under these conditions? And you just feel like you just really can't get sucked in. Whereas if somebody goes in healthy and then maybe it's a spot like he does, I forget what that one move is called, but like say like they like drive the leg into the steel steps or something, right, and they're holding and writhing in pain. You're just like, oh shit. Well, now that's a damaged limb that they didn't have before. So now they got to fight from the ground up with that.
Exactly. I don't think that people should be going into matches with injuries, even though most of the time it is a work, because to me, that's preventing me from being able to properly suspend my disbelief.
You know what? That makes sense. I can respect that opinion. And I know me taking this tone might surprise some people, given how arrogant I was just a few moments prior with my opinion that Kevin Owens is retaining. But no, in all seriousness, I can understand that mindset. To be honest, I'll probably be thinking that in the back of my mind now, too. If they do play that up, maybe they'll surprise us and they won't. And maybe Kevin Owens just did it for convenience sake. Like, it's exposed. Let me just hit it with my championship, whatever. But if he does relentlessly work it over, I mean, that's kind of what's taking me out of Seth Rollins matches a little bit. Like, I kind of want him to get over this because, then they'll be able to do new stuff rather than, oh, no, he's going after the knee, So I can definitely see where you're coming from for sure.
Exactly, yeah. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So, all right, guys. Well, I'm content now. I feel like I've spoken my mind. I feel like I've gotten a lot off my chest. John, do you have anything else that you would like to say?
No. Just that very much looking forward to this live reactions here more than the actual show. Again, I'm still kind of hovering at that 6.5, but chat always makes it fun and our live reactions always make it fun. So I'll be curious. I'll be curious how the whole thing goes down. And yeah, we'll see who wins our championship matches. Pulling for Breezango, pulling for Owens, definitely pulling for Orton to retain so he could lose it to Ruru at Money in the Bank. And yeah, hopefully we get some good outcomes here. So Ashton, with that said, I'll let you take us home.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a couple of live reactions coming up tomorrow and Sunday. Of course, NXT TakeOver Chicago tomorrow, Backlash Sunday. Should be a lot of fun. Next week, NXT will not be reviewed, just so everybody knows. You don't expect any kind of NXT review next week. We will, however, be live reacting to SmackDown Live, and we will have a Lucha rewatch on Wednesday. So you've got those two to look forward to, and then pretty much cleared for the rest of the week, unless PWG, only Nice Boys, or Nice Boys Don't Play Rock and Roll, unless that video gets uploaded and becomes available for digital download, in which case we'll live react to that later on in the week. But regardless, the week following is what you really want to look forward to, because we've got the return of Lucha Underground Season 3. It's going to be episode 20. We will do our 13th and final episode of Lucha Rewatch Season 2, covering Ultima Lucha 2 Parts 2 and 3. That's episodes 25 and 26 of Lucha Underground Season 2. We will also, a couple hours later, be covering the Lucha Underground Season 3 trailer. We're going to look back at the trailer for Season 3. We are going to talk about everything that we've seen already and everything that we haven't seen already and what we can anticipate. And then, of course, at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on May 31st, Lucha Underground Season 3, Episode 20 live reactions, followed by an episode of Twitwell covering the return of the greatest wrestling show on earth, Lucha Underground. We are both very stoked. Hopefully you guys are as well. Be sure that you remember to leave a like, comment on the video once it's fully processed. Tell us what you think about Backlash. Maybe post your predictions again in a comment once the video is fully processed. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and then check the little check mark so that you get notified whenever we go live. Support us on Patreon. If you're interested in us reviewing or live reacting to any show that we've never reviewed or live reacted to yet, make sure to donate, and you can request any live reaction or review that you want on Patreon. Buy a t-shirt if you're interested in physically representing Twitwow and or the Scum Squad. And speaking of the Scum Squad, if you're not capable financially to cough up the $25 necessary for a t-shirt, if you want to rep the Scum Squad, you can get a $15 mug or a $6 sticker, and those all help to support the Twitwow brand. And of course, be sure to follow us both on Twitter, like the Facebook, check out the subreddit. All that information is down in the description, and we will see you all tomorrow night for our NXT TakeOver Chicago live reactions, baby. Stay tuned.